Alright, so I figured it was time to show you guys the Miata from a bit of a different angle. What you see right here, for those of you that don't know what that is, that's probably the first part that's going to break. This is the rear differential. Either that or these toothpick-sized factory Miata axles. Something's going to give. This thing ever gets traction, it's done for. What I'm doing right now is trying to figure something out. I think I've got the solution, but watch this. There's nothing holding that in. From the factory, this car has a beam that mounts to the bottom of the differential that goes all the way up to the back of the transmission that supports the differential. Well, part of many things that support it. So without the Miata transmission and that beam, this thing's just going to flop around. So we're going to do some Appalachian engineering and come up with a mount to hold this differential just steady enough to do what we're going to do with this car. Also, while we're under here, I'm going to be measuring for the drive shaft. I'm going to hold this where it needs to be and try to get a good solid measurement. Alright guys, I have found the solution. Turns out the local parts house had exactly what we need. This right here, less than $10, rubber isolator. This is going to be what we use to hold that differential in place. Here is the Miata Powerplant Frame. I guess that's because it's a big frame-like thing that connects the power plant to the differential. So what this does, this end actually secures bolts directly to the differential. This beam floats in the drive shaft tunnel and only connects again up here at the tail housing of the transmission. So you gas it, the nose of the differential moves one way, transmission holds it where it's got to be. So here is my little bushing I picked up today, my little $8 investment. What I was originally going to try to do was cut this thing short, mount this right in here, and then put it to one of the cross members. But I've got an idea that I'm actually going to move it up. And I'll show you why in just a second, but put it a little bit further away from the differential. Now, you probably are aware already, if you're looking into power plant frames, that there is a aftermarket option available, bolt-in kit. Looks like it's about $300 from a company called Miata. I'm sure that is a quality part, but it's really not in the budget. And, you know, if I was building a daily driver, I'd probably do that in a heartbeat. But let me show you underneath and what I'm thinking about doing. So here we are again, back under the Miata. Now that power plant frame we just talked about, it mounts right there to the side of the differential and goes forward. Now, my first reaction when I looked under here is like, hey, I got a beam right here. Let's just put a mount right there and be done with it. But then I got to thinking, that's like trying to use a short wrench to turn a big nut. We need to get some more leverage on the support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back up all the way to here, about a third of the way up the car. And I've got a little bit tougher looking support. I know this one's a little beat up, but I've got 2 bolts as opposed to 1 bolt. So maybe this is a stronger mounting point. Plus, I'll be further away from the differential to give myself a little more leverage. So the plan is right now to cut that power plant frame down, try to make it look halfway decent, and put that mount on top of this cross member. Maybe do a little bit of reinforcement. So let's see how that works. So there you have it. That is my best attempt at a power plant frame delete. As you can see, it went okay. I was going to use that masking tape to use a Sharpie and mark a hole and take it and drill a hole in the bench. But I ended up just running a hole straight through both of them. It was a bit awkward, but we got it through there. So that was my plan. Now that it's done, it looks like the driveline angle has a chance at being close enough not to rattle apart. But we're going to do a little bit more cleaning up, dress some edges, clean up this mess, and probably call it a night. I do want to let you know I did take the drive shaft to the drive shaft shop today. I had a lead on a place that's supposed to be a little bit cheaper. As soon as I walked in there and showed them what I was working with, they turned me around and walked me out the door. So I went back to my usual guy. He's the one that built the last drive shaft for my big block conversion. It seems to be bulletproof. I've tried to break it and it won't break. So he's going to be setting me up with something. Like I said, it's a C6 2 Miata flange drive shaft. He's going to make it nice and thick and hopefully be the only bulletproof part of this drivetrain, rather. But stay tuned. We'll see how that goes. And as always, thanks for watching.